The modern meaning of Buddhist wisdom on human relationships. Across the long arc of Buddhist thought, one theme returns again and again: the people we keep close can elevate our lives or quietly erode our peace. The Buddha emphasized the importance of good friends and warned of the harm caused by bad companions. In the Sigalovada Sutta, this idea appears vividly: a good friend is like a room filled with fragrance, a bad friend is like falling into a pit of fire. For early Buddhist communities, choosing one social environment was not simply moral advice, it was a form of spiritual self-protection. Among the many teachings on relationships, Buddhist texts describe 4 types of companions who drain clarity, stability, and personal growth. These individuals are known collectively as the 4 harmful friends, people whose patterns of behavior damage another's mental well-being, dignity, or direction in life. What makes these teachings striking is how closely they align with modern psychology. Contemporary research uses different vocabulary: toxic relationships, emotional boundaries, energy vampires, psychological safety, but the essence is the same. Certain relational patterns consistently sap a person's emotional resources, weaken their self-trust, and disrupt their long-term goals. In an age of constant connection, social media pressures, and increasingly blurred personal-professional boundaries, learning to identify such relationships is more important than ever. Emotional exhaustion often comes not from tasks, but from the people surrounding us. And many modern struggles, burnout, indecision, chronic stress, can be traced to unhealthy relational dynamics that Buddhist wisdom identified more than 2,000 years ago. This video explores the 4 harmful friend types, connects each with corresponding psychological concepts, and provides practical strategies for reducing emotional drain in daily life and the workplace. The goal is not to judge others, but to build an environment that protects clarity, peace, and long-term growth. The first harmful friend, the only take, never give type. In Buddhist teachings, the first type of harmful friend is the one who takes endlessly without giving back. Such companions constantly seek your attention, resources, or time, yet offer little or nothing in return. The Sigalovada Sutta cautions that these relationships exhaust the mind and spirit, leaving the generous friend drained and vulnerable. The key characteristic is imbalance: energy flows overwhelmingly in one direction, from you to them, without reciprocal care or respect. Modern psychology describes this pattern as takers or emotional vampires. These individuals may appear friendly, but their friendliness is transactional. It exists only as long as they can gain something. Typical signs include only contacting you when they need a favor, making you feel never enough, or using emotional pressure to manipulate your actions. The effect is cumulative stress, subtle guilt, and a slow erosion of self-esteem. Consider 2 everyday examples. First, imagine a colleague in a mid-sized office, Alice, who repeatedly asks for help covering urgent tasks. Whenever deadlines loom, she calls or emails you, expecting you to drop your own work to assist. You spend hours reorganizing your schedule, helping her meet her targets, yet she never thanks you and takes your efforts for granted. Over time, you notice a pattern: she contacts you only when she needs a lifeline, never offering support in return, and even criticizes your performance when her work is delayed. Despite her outward friendliness, your energy is consistently drained. Second, in a social setting, imagine a longtime friend, Ben, who constantly borrows money, emotional energy, or favors. He calls late at night to vent about problems he refuses to solve, asks for rides or help with errands, and seems to vanish when you need advice or companionship. You begin to notice that your interactions leave you anxious, tired, or resentful. Ben's presence is no longer restorative, it is depleting, and yet he frames his requests as signs of friendship, making it harder to refuse. From these examples, the recognition method becomes clear: observe the flow of energy in the relationship. Ask yourself, does the other person show genuine interest in your well-being, or only in what you can provide? Are they absent when support is required? Is there gratitude or acknowledgement for your contributions, or is effort always assumed? These questions reveal whether a connection is nourishing or harmful. The Buddhist solution and modern psychological advice converge on setting clear boundaries. Practically, this may involve politely declining requests when your time or energy is limited. "I'm sorry, I can't help you with this right now." Prioritize relationships that provide mutual care and support, rather than feeling obliged to meet endless demands. Psychologically, learning to say no without guilt preserves energy and reinforces self-respect. Journaling interactions, reflecting on emotional drain, or seeking support from balanced friends can clarify your inner limits and reinforce boundary-setting behavior. The effect of these strategies is profound. Emotional resources are preserved, stress is reduced, and mental clarity improves. Relationships become healthier. Instead of exhausting, they energize. By consciously managing interactions with takers, you cultivate an environment where mutual support is the norm, not an exception. In essence, the only take, never give friend can still exist in your life, but no longer at the cost of your emotional well-being. As Buddhist wisdom emphasizes, protecting the mind from depletion is a form of self-compassion, and modern psychology validates that such protective measures are essential for long-term mental health, professional productivity, and sustainable personal growth. The second harmful friend, the sweet-tongued deceiver. Buddhist teachings warn against a second type of harmful companion, the one who speaks beautifully but acts unreliably. This person projects warmth, kindness, and charm on the surface, yet their behavior reveals inconsistency, hidden agendas, or subtle manipulation. In Buddhist texts, such individuals are said to confuse the mind, because their pleasant words create an illusion of trust while their actions quietly undermine your clarity and judgment. Modern psychology offers strikingly similar descriptions. These individuals resemble charming manipulators or certain types of narcissists, people who use charisma, flattery, or emotional intensity to gain influence, often hiding motives centered around self-interest. They may engage in gaslighting, telling you one thing today and denying it tomorrow, making you question your own perceptions. Their sweetness is strategic, not sincere. To understand the subtle danger of this pattern, consider the first example. Imagine a friend named Clara who showers you with praise whenever she wants something. "You're amazing, you're the only one I trust." She texts you frequently, compliments your appearance, and tells you she admires your character. Yet her actions tell a different story. When she needs connections, introductions, or favors, she becomes incredibly attentive. But once she gets what she wants, she withdraws. You notice she rarely shows up when you need emotional support. Worse, you overhear her speaking critically about you to others, undermining your credibility to elevate her own. Her sweetness becomes a mask, one that makes you doubt your instincts and tolerate behavior you would reject from anyone else. A second example comes from the workplace. Picture a colleague named Daniel, who often begins conversations with phrases like, "You are the most important person on this project," or "No one appreciates you as much as I do." He acts as if he is your ally, but behind closed doors he redirects credit, withholds information to gain leverage, or subtly shifts blame to protect his reputation. He uses friendliness as a strategy to disarm your skepticism. His compliments make you let your guard down, but his actions consistently place you at a disadvantage. You begin feeling uneasy, sensing that what he says and what he does never fully align. These two examples illustrate why Buddhist wisdom advises us to look beyond speech. Words are easy to fabricate, patterns of behavior are not. The key recognition method is simple yet powerful. Observe consistency. Is this person's behavior stable, reliable, and aligned with their words? Or do they promise much and deliver little? Do they express warmth verbally but disappear when responsibility arises? Do you feel unusually dependent on their praise or approval? If their actions contradict their words, it is a sign that their sweetness is a tool, not a truth. In dealing with this type of harmful friend, both Buddhism and psychology recommend maintaining distance while gathering evidence. Instead of rushing into trust, adopt an observation period. Interact politely, but avoid revealing vulnerabilities or making commitments based solely on emotional impressions. Create a mental habit of basing judgments on facts, not flattery. When you feel swept up by compliments or excessive praise, pause and ask, what has this person actually done? Boundaries also matter. Decline unnecessary emotional entanglement, avoid relying on them for critical tasks, and maintain clear records in professional settings. If needed, redirect conversations to concrete topics and avoid the emotional fog created by empty praise. The effect of these strategies is liberating. You regain mental sharpness, preserve emotional independence, and avoid falling into manipulation or disappointment. You learn to appreciate sincere kindness while recognizing when kindness is merely a tool of influence. Over time, your relationships become more grounded in trust and mutual respect rather than illusion or emotional dependency. By learning to see beyond sweet words, you protect your judgment, a skill central to both Buddhist clarity and modern psychological resilience. The third harmful friend, the one who disappears in times of need. A third harmful friend described in Buddhist teachings is the companion who appears warm and present during ordinary days, yet vanishes the moment true difficulty arises. This type of person creates an illusion of closeness, but the connection is conditional, rooted not in genuine care or shared responsibility, but in convenience and personal gain. Buddhism warns that such relationships breed instability because they fail precisely when support is needed most. Modern psychology calls this dynamic a fair-weather friend or conditional relationship. These individuals enjoy your company when life is smooth, when the environment is easy, or when you offer something, status, comfort, entertainment, or usefulness. But when you face emotional hardship, professional crisis, or personal vulnerability, they retreat. Their presence is seasonal, governed by their benefit rather than mutual loyalty. To see how painful and destabilizing this can be, consider the first example. Imagine a friend named Lily, with whom you share meals, jokes, weekend plans, and constant messaging. She is always eager to join fun activities and often calls you her best friend. But when you suddenly face a difficult period, perhaps a family illness, work burnout, or an emotional low, Lily's engagement changes. Your messages go unanswered. Your attempts to talk are deflected. She tells you she is busy yet continues posting cheerful outings with others. When you finally meet, she avoids the topic of your challenges and steers the conversation back to her own interests. Slowly, you realize that Lily enjoys the joy you bring, not the burden you share. Her companionship is only for sunshine, never for storms. A second example appears frequently in the workplace. Consider a team member named Michael, who is friendly and supportive during routine tasks. He praises your ideas during casual discussions and is quick to collaborate when the work is easy. Yet when the team faces a crisis, a delayed project, a tough client, or a critical mistake, Michael's behavior shifts dramatically. He distances himself, avoids responsibility, or subtly implies that the problem originated from others. At meetings he becomes quiet, offering no help. You may even find that he communicates with supervisors privately, framing himself as uninvolved while letting you absorb the pressure. His collegiality dissolves precisely at the moment teamwork is needed most. These scenarios highlight the crucial recognition method: observe a person's behavior during your most difficult moments. Ask yourself, do they remain present when your life is inconvenient? When you need support, practical or emotional, do they take action or quietly disappear? Is their closeness based on shared values, or only on enjoyment and benefit. Buddhism teaches that true friendship is tested in adversity, not comfort. Modern psychology echoes this. Reliable relationships contribute to psychological safety, conditional ones create chronic insecurity. In dealing with this type of harmful friend, the strategy is not confrontation but recalibration. You don't need to sever the connection entirely. Instead, you reduce expectations. Shift the relationship from emotionally intimate to casual and friendly, and reserve your deeper sharing for people who have demonstrated reliability through action, not claims. Avoid placing yourself in situations where you depend heavily on someone who has not earned that trust. Instead, build a network of mutual support relationships, where help flows both ways and vulnerability is respected. Be intentional about what you share. When interacting with fair-weather companions, keep important concerns within a smaller, trusted circle. This protects you from repeated cycles of disappointment. You can also diversify your sources of support, friends, mentors, colleagues, so that no single relationship bears the weight of unmet expectations. The effect of these strategies is a significant growth in emotional stability. You experience fewer shocks and disappointments because your expectations align with reality. You feel safer, calmer, and more grounded. You learn to rely not on the loudest declarations of affection, but on consistent, quiet acts of presence. In this way, you cultivate a life surrounded by people who stand with you in both ease and difficulty, an environment where authentic support replaces conditional companionship. The fourth harmful friend, the one who leads you toward decline. The final harmful friend described in Buddhist teachings is perhaps the most subtly destructive, the companion who pulls you away from your goals, weakens your self-discipline, and nudges you toward habits that erode clarity and long-term growth. In Buddhist terms, this is the friend who invites the mind into decline. Unlike the overt taker or the visibly unreliable companion, this friend often appears fun, carefree, humorous, or thrilling to be around. Yet their influence gradually distances you from your principles, your focus, and your better self. Modern psychology equates this type with negative influences and toxic peer pressure. People in this category encourage behaviors that offer short-term pleasure at the expense of long-term well-being, complaining instead of problem-solving, indulging instead of balancing, procrastinating instead of progressing. Their influence is rarely forceful, instead, it is atmospheric. You sink without noticing. To illustrate how this manifests, consider the first example from everyday work life. Imagine a colleague named Ryan who always carries a cloud of cynicism. Every morning he complains about the company, mocks management decisions, and discourages effort. Don't bother working so hard, no one notices anyway. At first, his remarks sound humorous or relatable, a release for shared frustrations. But over time, you realize conversations with him consistently leave you demotivated. You begin delaying tasks, doubting your progress, and internalizing his view that improvement doesn't matter. His negativity becomes contagious. What began as casual venting becomes a subtle form of psychological sabotage, pulling you away from professional standards and personal ambition. A second example comes from social life. Consider a long-term friend named Marcus, who constantly invites you to nightlife gatherings, late dinners, impulsive trips, or endless streaming marathons. Every time you try to leave early or decline because you have plans, studying, the gym, sleep, personal projects, he jokes, "Come on, don't be boring," or "live a little." At first, it feels like harmless fun. But months later, you notice that your sleep schedule is unstable, your goals have stalled, and you feel increasingly out of control. Worse, whenever you attempt to rebuild discipline, Marcus tries to pull you back. Why bother with routines? You'll quit anyway. His influence is not malicious, but it is directionally harmful. It steers you away from the person you want to become. These examples reveal the key recognition method. Observe the version of yourself that emerges after spending time with this person. Ask yourself, do I feel clearer or more confused? Motivated or drained? Closer to my long-term goals or pushed away from them? Am I acting from intention or from influence? Buddhism often teaches that the people we associate with shape the atmosphere of our mind. Modern psychology reinforces this. Repeated exposure to negative norms reshapes motivation, habits, and self-belief. The strategy for coping with such a harmful friend is rooted in goal-centered boundaries. Begin by clarifying your priorities: sleep, health, financial stability, career milestones, personal growth, and use these as a compass. When someone repeatedly interferes with those priorities, reduce the time spent with them or shift the nature of your interactions. For example, you might meet Ryan only during structured work moments rather than engaging in long complaint-filled conversations. For Marcus, you might suggest daytime activities or decline invitations without guilt. Redirection also helps. Gently steer conversations toward constructive topics or propose activities aligned with your goals. If they resist or mock the shift, the resistance itself is information. Another important strategy is aligning yourself with positive peers, people whose discipline inspires you, whose habits reinforce your own, and whose presence elevates your mindset. Just as negative influence spreads, positive influence strengthens. The effect of these strategies is empowering. You regain control of your attention, time, and energy. You feel more aligned with your intentions and more capable of sustaining healthy routines. Most importantly, you begin to experience your life as moving steadily toward growth, not drifting unknowingly into decline. In this way, Buddhist wisdom and modern psychology converge on a simple truth: your environment shapes your becoming. Choose companions who cultivate clarity, discipline, and upward momentum. Conclusion: choosing relationships that help you become your best self. Across Buddhist teachings and modern psychology alike, one message stands out clearly: the quality of your relationships shapes the quality of your emotional life. The 4 harmful friend types are not moral labels, they are behavioral patterns that drain clarity, stability, and growth. Learning to recognize them is an act of wisdom. Learning to set boundaries with them is an act of self-respect. Buddhist thought teaches that friendship is part of the spiritual path, because the people around us influence not merely our mood, but the direction of our mind. Modern psychology echoes this idea through concepts such as emotional boundaries, psychological safety, and the impact of social environments on long-term behavior. When the two perspectives come together, they form a powerful system of emotional protection. Recognize patterns before they damage you. Respond with clarity, not resentment. Choose your environment with intention. Ultimately, navigating harmful relationships is not about changing other people. It is about elevating the relational ecosystem you live in, replacing confusion with clarity, exhaustion with balance, and unconscious tolerance with conscious choice. Here are 3 principles you can apply immediately. 1. Behavior is more truthful than words. Pay attention to what people consistently do, not what they promise or project. 2. Boundaries protect more effectively than explanations. A calm no often does more than hours of emotional reasoning. 3. Walking away is sometimes the highest wisdom. Not every connection is meant to be preserved, some are meant to be released for your well-being. Life is not frightening because you lack friends, it is frightening only when you carry the wrong ones. As the Buddhist metaphor reminds us, stay close to good friends as if entering a room filled with fragrant orchids, avoid harmful ones as if stepping away from a burning pit. In choosing wisely, you build a life that supports your peace, your growth, and your best self.